So the first topic just talked about the fact that we can become anything and we can achieve it through self-efficacy. Then I really talked about myself and how I really wanted to take you on a journey to help you maybe change your minds and create some more value for yourself. But as I was explaining, there was so much of my own life that was blocked and limited from
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
fucking Siri.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Shut up, Siri. I want you to form resilience. I want you to be able to weather the storms that life is going to throw. In our inside, there are always going to be some sort of external or sometimes even internal reaction, trigger, something that happens, a stressor, an event. But how we react or respond realistically it's the same way that you look at it, but it is the input, it is the equal and opposite output that our body will either by keeping it in or putting it back out. And that's really powerful. I want you to understand that in life there could be a negative event or a positive event that's going to happen, but no matter what you'll be able to do is realize that when those moments happen, you can make a conscious decision to how the future will be. And that's kind of an interesting topic. As I mentioned, that there's going to be generational wounds, things that happen in your family line, in your own life, things that have happened. It's funny that when these moments happen, they're some of the worst or good defining moments of our life. But sometimes we're still holding on to that for so long, and at times it's just impossible to kind of feel like you're gonna break the cycle, but it can happen. It's like the DNA or our body has all the software and the knowledge and the experience of our ancestors, and even the village, our parents, understanding the history and understanding how we work and how things happen is really important, because what it does is it allows you to normalize your experience and to take away the stigma, to allow you to intentionally influence the intensity of whatever you're feeling. And it's funny how you can control that. And even with a feeling of overwhelming sense of the unknown or the fear, like I realized for me, some of it really did stem from the fact that I was denying my gut feeling. I was not believing in my own self and who I am and where I'm going. And I think for me, it was really about unlearning and relearning that my value and everything that happens can really come from within. And then from there I can then influence the external, then that can then help influence me. And there's this cycle of give and take that we have with our natural internal and external environments, and it's finding that ecosystem of give and take from energy, from light, from resources, from oxygen, from water. Realistically, there is a symbiotic coexistence between all life and all non-living. you know? And I guess, what I realized for myself is I really felt that I was kind of blocked, and they even talk about how in cancer, cancer is essentially a part of the cell that's dying and diseasing, and we're not able to metabolize and and just let that cell die and get repurposed. It's kind of like it becomes an alcohol, and it becomes just so cancerous, starts destroying everything, and we're just not able to just process it. And that's sometimes how this fear and this worry can be like. And I want all of you to know that like peace of mind and happiness and your inner well-being is something that you deserve and you will be able to have, and I want you to have that. And that's really what this journey is. So as we go through this journey a little bit more and more together, there's one thing that I'll start really kind of opening up and explaining a little bit more and more about myself. But one thing I want you to know is there's been times where my anxiety has really overruled my life and my actions. And the anxiety, I guess one definition is just the feeling of an unease, such as worry, that can be mild or severe. And it's normal to feel these fears, but the problem for me is that it became chronic and consistent. It's like that negative fear, that worry of the unknown took a life of its own. And it's funny, some kids hate to poop, some kids love to poop. I hated to poop. I always fucking kept it in, and it's not the issue now, but to that same concept, it's funny how I realized that like I had with some of the trauma and some of the unhealed ADHD and not resolving some other trauma that happened later in life really impacted my whole journey. But the other thing that happened was I was able to hold in all that pain, and over time that pain just became toxic. So the fact that I was afraid of everything, and then I was holding it in and just making it even more intense. Like, honestly, sometimes I do wonder, how the fuck did I stay in my heart a good person, even with all the fucked up things that have happened? Because, I don't know, in hindsight, I think a lot of it was the programming, the fact that my name means good deeds. It means good deeds of karma. It means like it's a good side of karma. And in some of the destinies and some of the prophecies that my parents told me that were, said for me when I was born, those beliefs in that village, and that was a huge part. And I think as I've really healed and gone through this journey, I think what I really want all of you to understand is that like sometimes you don't need to hurt enough where you have to change, or you need to see enough where you're inspired to, or that you really do need to learn enough that you want to, or sometimes that you need to receive enough that you're able to. Realistically, like, you have everything that you need inside you right now. Like, it's inside here, it's inside here, it's inside down there. Like, the way we were born, like, literally, like, our bodies and our minds are built perfect. And I think me telling myself that something was perpetually broken or something was perpetually not right was the biggest thing I needed to break. So no matter knowing what happened, none of that really fucking mattered, because ultimately I needed to believe it that I was safe. I needed to believe it that I had everything in me for this next journey. Hey, so what all of this is these are just really bite-sized pieces of knowledge and information to really help you know and feel the assurance and confidence that you can continue forward on the path that you're on. And there are days that you're gonna doubt yourself, or the days that you're going to feel that you just can't continue. And I hope that the content and the information in here is really designed to help you achieve and become and have that internal compass and confidence that, yo, you can do this. You will do this. Whatever you want to do, we will do this. And I'm on, several different journeys. This one was crucial to me because my inner voice kept telling me I have to do this project. I had to do this. Like, this is something that I've been wanting to do for years. There's people that may have sparked the creativity and gave me the confidence that I could do it. But again, their interaction caused a reaction inside, but ultimately the reaction came from what I received from the outside. But ultimately, it's what I allowed inside from the outside. So it was still a conscious choice. Whoa, what the fuck did that mean? I guess we're really going to be talking about that over time, huh? All right, y'all. This episode is kind of more of that transitional episode between now and some of the other content. So let's go into some, deep dive keywords that I really think are going to be crucial for us to kind of go through. So the first one we talked about was self-efficacy. In the first one, then we kind of talked about the ACE score. So let me actually define what the ACE score is, maybe a little bit more of some of the trauma and how to look at these things. So that way, as you're going on your own journey, you can kind of normalize some of your feelings and take away the power that you give to the fear. So I believe in you. You can do this. This is Kusal from Kusa's Key. Ayubowan, and we can do this.